Hello everyone and peace of Christ to all of you. Our video today is about Jordan and the ruler of Jordan, so-called King Abdullah. First of all, to give you a brief history, those are not royal, they never been royal, they are Bedouin from the desert, brought by the British intelligence, and they used them in order to divide and conquer the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire controlled a huge part of the Middle East, including the countries who speak Arabic. So the British intelligence, they said, well, the only way to divide them, those Muslims, is to bring someone. He claimed that he is descendant from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and he will get support, and it worked. So they launched something called the revolutionary, the big revolutionary, of the Arab, which is false, really, had nothing to do with the Arab. It was just the British intelligence leading a bunch of Bedouin. And because the Ottoman Empire was so weak already, collapsing, they have really, it's just, authority by name. So they were able to take over a huge part of the Middle East, like Jordan, Syria, Iraq. And then they made the person who is the grandfather of this man, the king in Syria. But he is no king, they are not royal, and they are really trashy family. And all their history, is about corruption. Even their first father, who is supposedly became the king, he was nobody, and he used to take a salary every month from the British intelligence, every month, even after he became a king. Because he have no income really. I mean, he's just a Bedouin who claimed that he is descended from Muhammad. All the point is that he is supposedly descendant from Muhammad, peace be upon him. Now, the connection between what's happening today and that history is the following. You will hear the news that King Abdullah, he is so terrified about the idea that Hamas or Palestinian, the 2 million or more, they will go to Jordan or to Egypt. Now he don't care really about Egypt, but he's worried about coming to him. So he screamed, there's no way we will not accept, and the purpose supposedly is to defend the rights of those people who they are living there. The fact this is not true. He is so terrified because already the majority, more than, I believe more than 70% already in Jordan are Palestinians. In fact, he himself, he had to marry a Palestinian woman after what happened with his father. Now, what happened with his father? And why he married a Palestinian woman? He married a Palestinian woman so Palestinian will not see him or his coming son to be a king as a stranger, because the son now will be half Palestinians, so they will not, revolt against him. However, 1970, what happened at that time? The Black September. In the Black September, Jordan launched a war against the Palestinian in Jordan. In fact, they brought even fighters from Pakistan and even, I believe, from Israel to help them to control the authority of Yasser Arafat. So the Israeli, they help Pakistan and other countries, like, maybe they are not important to mention, but even Turkey help Jordan to subdue those Palestinians. The reason Turkey did that, because Yasser Arafat was not in a good relationship with at that time, they are liberals government. So anyway, and he kidnapped airplane, etc. And even he was making risk and a threat against the Turkish airline. So many forces joined together with the king of Jordan at that time, King Hussein, and in 1970 they killed thousands and thousands of Palestinians, including women and children. In this image, you will see the Palestinian using even children in the war with Jordan. As you see in the image here, if you look at this image, you will see this guy is just a child. As you see, holding a machine gun, it's called Senobal. So the Palestinian, they wanted to take over Jordan, because now they become the majority. Yasser Arafat is in control. He is more important than the king. He gets support by hundreds of millions of dollars, which is the Jordanians don't have. So let us say he have more even equipment than Jordan itself. However, because Jordan gets support from other forces to eliminate the control and the possibility of the Palestinian taking over Jordan, they were able to be victorious and kill tens of thousands. Now the numbers, and not only that actually, in 1970 the war started at the beginning and he killed a lot of them, but that was not enough to stop the Palestinian from doing more harm to Jordan. During that time, after the war started between the Palestinian and Jordanian started, the president of Egypt was Abdul Nasser. Abdul Nasser is a dreamer. He thinks he is going to be like the caliphate and etc. And the Middle East at that time have a high respect for him. Most of the Muslims in the Middle East. Even though, by the way, he killed a lot of Muslim Brotherhood, which means he is the first enemy of Hamas, because they attempt to kill him, and actually I believe they are the one who killed him. The images we see, this is all the Palestinian. They have centers everywhere in Jordan. And as you see, they have a sign. I mean, it's like nobody there to tell them why you are having a weapon in the street. They can arrest anyone they want. And this is exactly what they did the same in Lebanon too. In Lebanon, they did exactly the same. And until Israel came to the south of Lebanon and even to Beirut and sent them all the way to Tunisia, if you remember. So they started doing the same movie in Jordan. And they did control many territory. And the king and the police of the king, they don't even dare to go there. As you see here, this is what it's called Palestinian Liberation Organization, 1970. They have tanks. Can you believe it? They have tanks. Actually, they have tanks more than Jordan they have. They have tanks more than the country army. So the Jordanian army don't have as much they have. This is why they said, okay, you know what, we can kill them all, and we can kill this king, and we can take over. And this is what the plan. But the plan did not work as they wished, because many international forces involved, and thousands of fighters from Pakistan, they came to help the Jordanian. And we do not know exactly who is the one who paid for those came from Palestine, because all of them, they are just, they are not supporting him because they like him. They are just for money. In fact, until now, Jordan have a lot of Air Force pilot. Even during the war with Israel, 1973, the Jordanian, more than 50% of their pilots were from Pakistan. So they have like a special connection with Pakistan, and they always support them in that field. However, the king of Jordan, he was able to control them in 1970, and he killed a lot of them by the help of other international forces, as we mentioned. And then the president of Egypt, Abdul Nasser, he got involved, and he made them shake hands. As we see in the picture, this is King Hussein in the right. This guy, Arafat, I don't know, he look weird, really. I mean, this is... and by the way, he is not even Palestinian. You believe it or not, the leader of the Palestinian, he is not Palestinian. Anyway, so he made them shake hands, but as usual, Arab, they shake hands, but they kill each other second day. So they shake hands, but then the one in the middle, Abdul Nasser, he died. He was killed, actually, not long after, and the war started again between the king of Jordan and the Palestinian in 1971. In 1971, the same scenario repeated, and about between 3,500 to 5,000 in that year, Palestinian, including women and children, as the report says. And, I don't really trust any report, but this is the information there. It says that they were killed by the military of Jordan. And here we ask ourselves, How come if the Palestinian, they try to take over in a place, we kill them, and it's okay? And if they are getting killed in different place, it's not. How come, as an example, Hassan Nasrallah, the Hezbollah, they were killing Palestinians who support what is called revolution against the Assad in Syria, and they are killing Hamas, specifically Hamas in Syria, and they are killing the Muslim Brotherhood, which is Muslim Brotherhood, it's Hamas in Syria, but they are supporting Hamas in Israel. So the story is not what people think. They don't really care for the Palestinian. Iran and Hezbollah and the King of Jordan, all of those scumbags, they are using those for a purpose of their own agenda. Iranian, they want to spread Shiaism between the Muslim Sunni. And they notice, since they announced that they are the enemy of Israel, and Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, as you see, this is behind him in his office, the picture of Al-Khomeini and the leader who became after him the leader right now in Iran. So those people, they don't hide even they belong to who. And the whole idea is, if we say we hate Israel, we want to kill every Jew, that will make the Muslims support us around the world, even though they hate Shia, but that will make us have a reputation. And actually they were able to convert a lot of Muslim Sunni into Shiaism during the last, let's say, 20 years, especially after the Israeli withdrew from the south of Lebanon because of a stupid politics. And then Hezbollah, they presented themselves as the one who bring victory against the Israeli, which is absolutely false. You know, the Israeli, they left because they have no interest to stay there no more. The same as the American, they left Afghanistan because, what for? Why would I stay? It's just costly. There's nothing. Spending money for nothing. However, Hezbollah claimed victory, and that made them feel that it was a very successful, let us say, plan, because they noticed how many Muslim Sunni they converted to Shiaism after they did that self-acclaimed victory. And now it's the same. They are supporting Hamas in Israel, but they are killing Hamas in Syria. They are supporting Muslims in Israel, but they are killing Muslim Sunni in Syria. They are supporting all kind of armed forces in Israel, but anyone who is armed forces against the Assad regime in Syria, they will kill him. Same they do in Iraq. The Muslim Sunni, they are slaughtered, killed. They've been driven out of their territory. They are not even allowed to visit the grave of Saddam Hussein. You know, if you visit Saddam, because for the Sunni, Saddam Hussein was a hero. So this is a very Iranian regime, like mafia gang, and they earn reputation by the help of the Israeli. To make it simple, the stupid politics always play a role to make terrorists flourish. In fact, all of them, they practice the same thing. They support terrorism when they want. Netanyahu, as an example, he supported terrorists in Syria who they were fighting Hezbollah. And the game they play here, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But we know that Hamas never been and never was the friend of Israel. But Netanyahu himself, he supported Muslim Brotherhood, which is Hamas in Syria. And this is a great example not to anyone in the future think about such a plan. Supporting evil will do nothing except to bring in evil to you back. So this is why I wanted to make this video, to show you that the King of Jordan, the President of Egypt, all those kings around, they don't want Palestinians to come to their lands. Because the first thing they do, they bring disaster to the country. They don't want anyone. They will take over. You bring them over as refugee. You take care of them. You feed them. You shelter them. You give them a free housing. You give them a free school. You give them free health insurance. And then they want to kill the king and take over the land. And Hezbollah itself, and another Shia group, it's called Harakat Amal, the movement of Amal. They surrounded the Palestinian camps. If you do little search, you will find that the Shia militant, Hezbollah and Harakat Amal, both they did siege the Palestinian in Beirut for more than a year, actually. And I'm talking about totally siege, no food, no water, nothing. To the point they were eating the dead bodies. And here you see Hezbollah itself and the Shia in Lebanon, they are so angry for the siege of Israel on Gaza for a week. So they don't mind. And they were killing them from 1984 to 1990. Any Palestinian, he leave the camp, they shoot him in the head immediately. And the siege was extremely tough, to the point, I'm serious, they eat dead body of each other. And this is the same group now, they are trying to defend the Palestinians in Israel. So this video is just to show you the hypocrisy of all those neighbors. All of them, they hate the Palestinians. All of them, they are hate mongers. And all of them, they justify their reasoning. They will say to you, they are bad, they are disgusting, they want to take over our land, they want to compete with us, they come as refugee, and then now they want to take over, blah, 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 all, justified. But what the Israeli doing now in Gaza is not justified. So the king of Jordan hate them. The government of Egypt, they jail tens of thousands of Muslim Brotherhood, which is Hamas. And then you will see the president of Egypt speaking about a human right. Tell yourself first, how many of them you put in jail? He will say to you, well, they are terrorists. So they are terrorists in Egypt, but they are freedom fighters in Israel. This is how hypocrite those people are.
I have just returned from a historic trip to Europe and the Middle East. I addressed a summit of more than 50 Arab and Muslim leaders, a unique meeting in the history of nations, where key players in the region agreed to stop supporting terrorism, whether it be financial, military, or even moral support. The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me about confronting Qatar over its behavior.
Okay. So it's time to confront Qatar, who support terrorism. And Qatar, the Muslim leaders, they spoke to Trump, ask him to do something about it. And Trump, he agreed. The one who support Qatar, terrorism, is in a high level, which means the ruler himself and his family. And then what Trump, he did after? After that, Trump, he sold Qatar a big number of airplane fighters. Very high technology. What then he did? Qatar became our best friend. And did Qatar stop supporting terrorism? No. So what this guy is talking about? As soon Qatar, they heard him saying this, they came to him and said, how much you want? Name your price. And all of us, we knew about the son-in-law of Trump renting his building to Qatar. Look, in Qatar, they need the building of they need the building of the son-in-law of Trump, and they rent it for $1 billion. What you can do? Qatar is so busy, there's no place for people to live no more. So they decide to rent a building in New York. And the address of the building is 666. Trump, not only he did not confront Qatar, in fact, he confronted the one who asked him to confront Qatar. If you go and see what happened, you will see even in the last week of Trump in the office, he forced Saudi Arabia to shake hands and leave sanctions on Qatar. The Saudi, they were going to invade Qatar to change the regime. It was a Trump who gave them a warning. Our troops will stand against you. As we know, we have a big base for American army in Qatar. So this donkey is the one for Hamas today to be flourishing, because all the money of Hamas is coming from Qatar. Then we have another president. Is the other president is better? No. The same garbage. All of them, they are money worshippers. They don't worship God. They don't know God. They don't know even America. They have one God, money. Biden, he went to Qatar and he gave Qatar a title, a new title, a favored friend. And the reason for Biden he to do that, because this guy is not the president. The president is Obama. Obama is a Shia, and Shia is the one who sponsors Hamas, specifically Iran. So Biden is just a toy. 2 days before the attack in October 7, Hamas, they march in Gaza by tens of thousands. Do you see the date? Look with me in the screen. 3 weeks ago exactly. Those are Hamas. This is Al Jazeera praising them. Al Jazeera is owned by the Prince of Qatar. So they marched by tens of thousands. And what this guy was doing? Nothing. In the last year, the 365 days, how many attack is done by Hamas? You will not believe it. Why you did nothing? Simply, none of those are leaders. Those are businessmen. So when Hamas, they go and march by tens of thousands, and the Israeli are watching, the American are watching, everybody is watching. Nobody complaining. Nobody doing anything. Why? Because simply, we don't have leaders. Look how many. Do you see? All of those are Hamas. They are marching in the street openly, in the main street of Gaza. This is the main street of Gaza. They are not hiding. Where was the Israeli war machine? Where was the Mossad? They are watching. I mean, they were broadcasting live on air actually. All of those are Hamas. What they were doing. And they are armed. Those are not civilian, those are Hamas fighters. Just less than 48 hours before the attack in October 7. Do you see the rocket launchers? They are in the street. Destroy them. Now they are looking for them. They can't find them. So when they were above the ground, they did nothing. When they are hiding, they are looking for them. People don't want me to talk about against Trump because simply they are stupid people. So Trump, he will become in the office again and he will support Qatar again. And instead of saying to him, shame on you, you know what, if you do that, we will not vote for you. Instead of learning from their stupid mistakes, which caused the death of thousands of innocent people, they don't want to even talk about it. They don't talk about Trump. This is their God. All of them, they support Hamas. Netanyahu supported Hamas. Trump, he supported Hamas. Biden, he supported Hamas. Because the second you support Qatar, you are supporting Hamas. This is where the money coming from. It's not a secret that every single member of Hamas is paid by Qatar. And not to make it more funny, they give the money to Israel, and Israel give the money to Qatar. If you don't believe me, go check. Which means Israel is funding Qatar by agreeing that Qatar can give money. You know, they say to themselves, okay, that's good. You know, I mean, Qatar spend their money on them and them. It's better than us paying for electricity. Let Qatar pay for their gas. Let Qatar pay for their schools. But Did you ask yourself why Qatar is supporting them? Why not Saudi Arabia? Why not Pakistan? Why nobody? I mean, why Qatar? It's a small, tiny country. What is the secret? The secret is very simple. Hamas is from the same party, the Muslim Brotherhood, of the ruler of Qatar, the scumbag, and Erdogan. On the other hand, the Saudi, they consider them an enemy. Emirat consider Hamas an enemy. Not because they love Israel, no, but because Muslim Brotherhood, which is Hamas, want to take over those countries. Look at this. I mean, this is in the street. This is just 48 hours before the attack on Israel. 48 hours. Not 40 years before. 48 hours. Where was the Israeli army and the intelligence, and where was Netanyahu? No, Saudi Arabia never support Hamas. That's not true. You know, people, they say stupid things like Saudi Arabia. They actually, you know, in Saudi Arabia, if you are a Muslim Brotherhood, you will be executed. Literally. In Saudi Arabia, Muslim Brotherhood are terrorist organization. They are wanted in Qatar, sorry, in Emirat. They are wanted in Saudi Arabia. They are wanted in Bahrain. They are wanted in Egypt. They are wanted in Syria. But hold on. So why in Syria? Yes, in Syria. But isn't Syria support Hamas? They support Hamas, killing Palestinian, sorry, or killing Israeli, but they don't support Hamas in Syria. It's a very dirty politics. And look at this. They are going in the street with all of this, and Israel did nothing. Totally nothing. Look at this show. You know? They showed them all their weapon. They put all their weapon in the street. 48 hours before the attack. And the Israeli did absolutely nothing. And now they are looking for them. And they cannot find them. So what the problem? What today is our topic? What is exactly the topic today? Is it to complain about what Hamas is doing? No, terrorists, they do what terrorists do. Terrorists do what terrorists do. And Islamic religion is the religion of terrorism. So I don't blame terrorists for doing what terrorists do. Then what is the problem? The problem that we have no leaders. They always compromise. They worship money. They have no ethic. They have no God except Mr. Dollar. And they don't care. In fact, the reason they did what they did in a massive way lately, because look, I mean, we can go in the street and nobody can stop us. As soon as Obama became a president, the Islamic terrorism flourished. Why? Because they have a Muslim in the White House. He was reciting Quran to the point even he make a mosque in the White House, and he gave the Muslims a day of holiday. And in the top of that, every Ramadan, Obama, he go in TV and he make a speech about the month of Ramadan. Turkey is a Muslim Brotherhood. Egypt, in a miraculous way, after Obama became president, they become Muslim Brotherhood. Jordan, more than 90% of population are Muslim Brotherhood. Syria is not. In fact, Syria is anti-Muslim Brotherhood. So they started war in Syria in 2010. What is the purpose?
is to make Syria Muslim Brotherhood. And what does that mean? That means we have Muslim Brotherhood all around Israel. Massive size of land, including Turkey. Then, surprise, surprise, something happened against the plan of Obama. Emirat, they discover that the Muslim Brotherhood, which is Hamas, they are going to take to do a coup against the royal family, or let us say who is ever ruling. They are not royal. So Emirat suddenly start arresting Hamas member or Muslim Brotherhood member, and same in Bahrain. So the plan was to take over Emirat and Bahrain, and in the same time the Saudi, they discover that the Muslim Brotherhood, they want to make a coup in Saudi Arabia. That was the plan. But when the Saudi, they discovered that the Muslim Brotherhood, they are trying to take over them, Muslim Brotherhood start getting busted. Same as in Emirat. The plan is demolishing slowly, or actually fast. Same in Bahrain. Those are three countries, they announced Muslim Brotherhood to be an enemy, and anyone he joined them, he will be jailed and mostly will be executed. Suddenly, a more aggressive group appeared. It's called ISIS, and they took over Syria. They control most half of Syria and almost half of Iraq, or maybe more of Iraq. And that was additional big problem for the Muslim Brotherhood, because now they cannot compete with ISIS. ISIS is more criminals than those, way more. So the dream in Saudi Arabia collapsed. The dream in Bahrain collapsed. The dream in Emirat collapsed. The dream in Egypt is gone. And even Libya. Since Obama is left, things have changed in Libya. So now there is two groups. One is sponsored by the American, which is the Muslim Brotherhood, and part is sponsored by the Russian, which is, the anti-Muslim Brotherhood. And the same happened in Syria. Obama, the Muslim, was supporting the terrorist Muslim Brotherhood. Putin get involved, and then he demolished their plan. And he demolished too ISIS plan. In fact, American did not do much in Syria fighting ISIS. It was the Russian did way more. American, they come at the end. And then they made a deal with the Kurdish. So the plan was really big. And if I know about it, do you think that Trump don't know about it? Do you think the Congress don't know about it? Do you think the senators don't know about it? Do you think the intelligence of every single European country do not know about it? And a guy in YouTube, he knew about it? All of them, they knew about it. In chapter 5, verse 14, and chapter 5, verse 64, the Hamas plan is open. The same as what we saw in the video, going in the street 2 days before the attack. Hamas plan is here that we will spread hatred and enmity between the Christians. So whoever spread hatred between the Christians, he is serving Hamas. He is serving the God of terrorists. This is his plan. That is the devil, obviously. In the other verse is about the Jews. Chapter 5, verse number 64. It says exactly the same. Allah will spread hatred between them. And that explains why There's Orthodox Jews going against Israel. They hate Israel. Do you see it? Two verses in the Quran, both of them saying that the God of Hamas will spread hatred and enmity between the Christians and the Jews. Chapter 5, verse number 14, and chapter 5, verse number 64. Muhammad, he went farther. He said, let us divide the Christian and the Jews. He gave this verse. In chapter 5, verse number 82, it says that the most close one to the Muslims is the Christians, and the most enmity is the Jews. So why Muhammad was killing the Christians? Why you want to spread hatred between the Christians? Here is the plan. Let us divide the Jews and the Christians. So Muhammad, he said to the Christian, don't worry, I'm not against you. I'm against the Jews. The Jews are the minority. I don't want to make the Christians wake up and see that I am their enemy. Let me finish the Jews first, and then I will go to the Christians. Saturday first and Sunday after. Hamas is not just a group of people in Gaza. Only stupid people think so. Don't you know that Osama bin Laden is Hamas? Al-Zawahiri is Hamas? I'm serious. This is all our Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood, they have a logo. Do you see the sword? Here you will see an Arabic word. Let us zoom in. You will see the Quran, right? But then there's a word in Arabic. Wa'iddu. What is that? A'iddu mean prepare. Prepare for what? To kill the Christians and the Jews. Are you serious? Yes, I am. It is the first word in chapter 8, verse number 60. وَأَعِدُّوا لَهُمْ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن قُوَّةٍ وَمِن رِبَاطِ الْخَيْلِ تُرْهِبُونَ بِهِ عَدُوَّ اللَّهِ وَعَدُوَّكُمْ. What does that mean? Translation. Prepare for them. Let us use the Muslim translation. Prepare for them. Make ready against them all you can of power, including instead war. Now they are adding those words. It's not in the Quran for sure, tanks and planes, but they are replacing the horses, you know, with those things. The translation is false, because in Arabic it says it clearly, horses, etc., to do terror, turhibun. The translation took the word terror out and said to threaten the enemy. If we change the translator, this is who? Let's see, Arbery. See, we change the translator. Look what happened. The first one, they add tanks and missiles, etc. In the Quran, there is horses, so you can install terror in the heart of the enemy. So Muhammad, he signed peace with his enemy until he prepared himself. And when he is ready with massive army, he sent them a bunch of his men to tell them, you have 4 months. 4 months. Either you leave the Arabian Peninsula or I'm going to slaughter you all. All of them, they believe in the same Quran, where in chapter 9, verse number 29 says, kill every single Christian and Jew unless he pay money or he die. All of them are the same. They are wicked. You give them peace, they kill you. They are like a snake. You invite a snake to your house, what the snake will do? The snake will do what a snake do. So don't be stupid and give peace to the terrorist. Finish it. And death is the penalty for the one who killed. That's what the Bible says. The one who lived by the sword shall die. And that is justice. Erdogan is the same scumbag. All of them, they are Muslim Brotherhood. We mentioned Qatar, Erdogan, etc. They are Muslim Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood should be banned, not only Hamas, because Hamas is just a brigade of the Muslim Brotherhood. Trump, he was a potato. He spoke about doing it. As soon they pay him money, suddenly the Muslim Brotherhood are his people. I lost respect to this man, and I pray that our coming leader in this country will not be a businessman. We are sick of them, money worshippers. We need leaders who have ethic, who they are not for sale, who they are not politically correct, who they are believers. For them, everything is money and business. I want to say thank you all for being here. I don't want to keep you longer. God bless you all. God is good. So is Jesus. Take care.